So, as presented to council at the workshop, there was an application from Justin Newland for the vacant seat, for filling the vacant position right now on the planning commission. And then the two youth representatives, one of them for the planning commission was Franklin I just want to say his name right, Napata, and then Colin Brown was for the position, the youth position for the park board commissioner. And then the reappointment of Don Blackwell, because we don't have any record of showing that that was taken care of, so I just wanted to make sure that we did that for him to finish out his term. So I would like to recommend that we move forward these appointments. Any questions from council? Questions?
Move the appointments as identified. Second.
Okay, Councilmember Jones.
We discussed it, and the fact that people are willing to step forward and be a part of the planning of our board, that can take advantage of the opportunity given to us.
Okay. Any other comments from council? Again, this is just a motion, there's no comments from the audience. So all those in favor of those appointments as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Next item on the agenda is the
They received 3 nominations for Councilmember Nancy Anderson from the town of Silicon to serve on the board. And we must return the ballot no later than April 17th if we want to cast a vote.
Is there a motion from council?
Move to cast the city's vote in favor of Nancy Henderson.
Councilmember Putnam.
Someone needs to fill the position. She's the only one nominated. And I believe we should support her in this, simply failing to vote makes us look like we don't care what they do, and we do use their transit.
We can do it right.
We could.
Katie, Councilmember Oliver.
Nothing further.
Yes.
Nothing further. Any further comments from council? Okay, again, this is a motion. All those in favor of casting our ballots for Nancy Henderson, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a motion to approve the newsletter printing and distribution costs. So there was some further information that council had requested from the workshop, and found out the information for both. One of them, the sample that we had is 11 by 17 folded out, so that's different than the price that was originally quoted, that we were given is like half that size. But that's the 11 by 17. The price that we originally quoted is just that and folded in half as far as, and so there's a price difference that was sent in your packet as well. And so the price would be approximately $17.48 per quarter, which we figured out would cost about 67 cents a newsletter.
Is that with postage?
That's with postage rate, a quarter. And that, the other question that was asked was regarding a contract. And we don't have to do a contract, we can do it quarter by quarter. And so my thoughts were that we just try it a couple times to see how it goes. To get the price locked in, we would have to do a year contract in the future. So but I thought we can kind of test run it for a couple of times and see how it goes, and then it would be up to council if you want to enter into a contract to lock in that price moving forward. Questions? Councilmember Steiger?
Okay, who have we recruited that's going to be the editor of this and make sure that it's put together professional?
They will put it together. Staff will be providing the content. And having a conversation with staff and with Amy, what we decided is, once it got put together, it would be sent out to council to take a look at before it went to the printer. So that if there was any comments or concerns, that council would be totally informed, or, you know, say, no, we don't want to talk about this, or that doesn't look professional, or, I mean, you'll have an opportunity to weigh in on that it will be staff. And it's a quarterly thing, you divide it up by the different departments, they know it's coming, we'll have a set date for when it needs to be prepared. My goal is that we would rotate among council members, that you'll have a section to talk about things that were important to you, you know, on a quarterly basis, so that, it isn't just, you know, that you have a chance to talk about what your vision or your goals or things that you think are important that you want to relate to the people that live in our community. Does that answer your question?
I think we still need a designated key person to, when we have questions, to go to talk to.
It will all go to Amy. I'm sorry. And she loves that.
Did you volunteer? Or were you
I
volunteering?
would have, but I was volunteer.
A volunteer.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
I guess, I wasn't here at the meeting, so I didn't get the discussion on why we felt the need for this over trying to make sure that we have this information available on our website and making our website professional and usable. People get junk mail all the time, and most of the time it gets sifted out, thrown in the garbage, and I'm just wondering if this isn't a waste of money.
Well, that conversation took place, and it was council's consensus to move forward with it.
Well, I
Councilmember
was
Jones.
just gonna say that, one of the concerns was, we do want the website updated and robust. We're going to move to that point, but the letter, we felt, go to all, addresses versus the website limited relationship to access to the internet. The other thing was is that we did want to do this on a trial basis, and so see what the feedback is, how is it being presented, like you said, is it being thrown away, and that's why we only want to do it, you know, a non-contracted initially, to see if this is making a difference as far as communicating, because that seems to be one, Mayor Dyer's, as well as some of the council's concerns about communicating with citizens, make sure that they're aware of what's going on. So it was thought that we could try this on a trial basis, give it a try, and then see what the outcome is.
I think Councilmember Gregory can...
One, are you going to have some kind of a, give people the opportunity to, if they have something like Mr. Mr. Pencilpalooza, to put some, a little something to where people will be able to either make suggestions or get something in that is based, community-based, like his pencil or your car show or community. Thank you. My brain's something.
Well, we do want to have the opportunity for a community calendar, and that was one of the highlights that we had talked about last week, is to be able to talk about the things that are going on in the community. I think initially, people are going to have to see we have something going out and to bring their events to us. We have plenty of events that are already taking place in the city that, you know, hopefully we can get that out and expand and grow off of that. That would be awesome. That's the goal. But I think our number one purpose is to have a calendar in there. Councilmember Putnam and then Councilmember Sykes.
On the newsletter versus website, I think most people who have attempted to get city information off our website are used to the idea that it's very static and largely non-functional. So once we have a working website, how do you drive people to it? And I think a newsletter is one way you can do that. Obviously, on a 4-page newsletter, you're not going to put full details, a bunch of anything on there, but you can say, this is happening, and there's more information on the city website. So it's a way of driving engagement, not the complete communication.
Councilmember Sykes and then Councilmember Woodward.
Just something to think about a little bit. You know, if we wanted to expand this newsletter, we may be able to incorporate some advertising in it. That would help
I think
absorb
definitely
some of that cost.
to look at down the road. I think right now we want to just
Yeah,
see what the
I
reception
understand
is,
that.
but I
think
agree.
just-
I agree.
Just bear in mind that the test basis or whatever, so to expand the thing, we could do situation where we limit X amount of subscribers to advertise.
I agree, I appreciate that. Councilmember Walker?
We don't want people to force them to throw it away, right?
Yeah.
I do with advertising. Okay. So two recommendations. The first one is talk to Eric at the VRFA and find out what their process is, because they do their monthly, or they do a quarterly newsletter to see what their process is for contributing content. It might be an opportunity to mirror something that you know is working. The other thing is I would recommend going through committees. So since all of your department heads work with a committee, because what I would hate to do is see a draft of something that I don't want in the newsletter, because then we're gonna more than likely have to pay to have them redo it.
Well, that's why it would be sent to council before it gets sent to the printer.
So are they, and I watched the video, but I didn't watch, thank you, Gene. I didn't see the outcome of this, and I'm gonna go off. So we send them a Word document with the article, that's it, or any pictures, and they do all the graphic design, they build the whole thing. So basically, council would be getting an email with 10 attachments that we have to use.
You will be getting a copy of the content that will be going into the email.
Before it gets to them. Okay. I would still recommend running through committee, because if there's a topic that council doesn't want in the newsletter, you just save staff time.
Sure.
I don't. Well, I don't want to write the article as a committee, but if the staff representative comes in and says, hey, for our contribution this week, I want to talk about technology in council meetings and the microphones, that's great. But if not, the committee can come up with another idea or just say, bring us something else. You have 3 months. I mean, we meet more than, well, most committees meet more than once a month, so.
Why'd you look at me?
I'm just saying, public safety's met like 3 times in the last year, so. You're the chair.
They don't have anything.
Okay, so, I guess what we need is a motion, I mean, is there any more discussion, I guess, from council? So, and I would like some direction too, and a motion from council on if you would like the 11 by 17 or the 8.5 by 11.
Well, I thought
Councilmember Jones,
we were going with the 8.5 by 11, two-sided.
to start.
I mean, that was what we were just talking about.
That's why I said, in your packet, you also got the other price that is
But
the size that was actually, shown to you.
is it more expensive for the
Yes.
smaller one?
No, no.
Okay, well,
I think to start with the smaller one would be a good start.
easier to fill out.
You only need one staff person to do anything.
Get a picture of Fred in there and just send it out.
Hey, you're on one.
I mean, we can always expand.
Yes, that's the motion. I don't have a motion on the floor.
Well, I move that we do a single two-sided page, 8.5 by 11, the initial start. You can always expand.
Okay, so did you want to, I heard a second, did you want to speak on that a little more?
No?
Okay, Councilmember Garberdine.
I just think it's a great idea to get it out there and see if it flies, and might be a way to get the word out to the community and get the community together.
Further comments from Councilmember Kay.
The only thing I'm looking at is when you look at the cost, it's only $400 more per quarter to get the bigger version, which gives you double content space for $400.
I would prefer the council's choice.
I think it's silly that we're approving it at a specific page size. I think we just allocate the budget and let the mayor decide what. If she has enough content to fill on 11 by 17, then that's the one they need to go with. But council shouldn't micromanage it. I would recommend an amendment to authorize a budget of $7,000 for the rest of this year for the purpose of doing a newsletter with the rest of the stuff.
Second. So, Councilmember Walker, would you like to speak on your amendment?
No, Mary.
All right, Councilmember Olivera.
No.
Okay, So further comment, Councilmember Garberdine.
Do you think you have enough to fill an 11 by 17 in your first issue?
I'm thinking with all the departments that we have, I would think so. So Councilmember Snyder.
Just because we, maybe this next quarter, we'd do 11 by 17, but the following one, you didn't have that much activity going on, whatever, you could make it a single page. I mean, we're not locked in to making the 11 by 17 at all times, are we?
No.
Because there's less things going on in the wintertime than there are in the summertime with the car shows and the other things, Pacific days and so forth,
So this was a friendly amendment, so is there any further comment on the amendment? So, and it's like, okay, so the amendment was to allocate the $7,000 budget for the rest of the year. Correct? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the original motion then is to approve the newsletter printing. Correct? Because of that budget.
With a budget of
With a budget of $7,000. Any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor of approving the newsletter printing signify by, with a $7,000 budget signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this motion carries. Thank you very much. All right.